Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Q Warrior, and here we only discuss the interview questions that are asked in the testing interviews. And if you are new to this channel, so it's very important to subscribe and also press the bell icon to get notification about this channel. And today we are going to see some basic interview question of testing, which is very much required to crack any interviews. So the first question is, what is software testing? So software testing is generally a process that is used to identify the correctness, completeness, and the quality of the developed software. It includes a series of activities that are conducted with the objective of finding errors in the software so that it could be corrected before the product is released or launched to the market. So this is the definition of software testing. Now, second important question is, why is software testing required? So we may get some question like, yes, if we have already developed, we can directly release into the market. So what is the use of software testing? So software testing is a very mandatory process that is essential to qualify software as usable for production or to the live environment. Here we will discuss some reasons to prove why is it needed. So the testing process guarantees the software will work as per the expectation of the customer. So for example, if there is any payment gateway application, for example PhonePe, which is intended to make payment using the bank account, using UPI ID, using scanning the barcode, so it should perform the task for which it is created or for which it is developed. The software testing also reduces the coding cycles or the iterations by identifying issues at the initial stage of the development. The discovery of issues in the earlier SDLC phase. SDLC stands here for Software Development Lifecycle phases, ensure proper utilization of resources and prevent any cost escalation. So for example, if the testing is not done properly and the defect is found in the live environment, so now if the user who is using the PhonePe, he is making transaction, but instead of going it into the intended user, it is going to someone else account, so that is a defect, and the cost of fixing that defect can be more or less, okay, but definitely a cost will be involved in fixing that defect. Testing team bring customer view into the process and find use cases that the developer may overlook. It may happen that sometimes developer may think that yes, this is not needed or this is not required, but the test team, they read the requirement, they understand the requirement, then they come up with their test cases that a developer may ignore. Okay, any failure, defect or bug observed by the customer distorts a firm's credibility or a company's reputation, which only the testing can ensure not to happen. Now again, a next important question is, when to start testing? When can we start the testing? So testing should be started earliest as possible. An early start to testing reduces the cost and time to rework and produces error-free software that is delivered to the client. However, in software development lifecycle, testing can be started from the requirement gathering phase and continue till the deployment of the software. It also depends on the development model that is being used. Okay, for example, if you are working in the waterfall model, so testing can only be conducted in the testing phase. But if you are using agile model or incremental model, testing is performed at the end of every increment or iteration, and the whole application is tested at the end. Now there are two more terms, quality assurance and quality control. So what do we mean by QA and QC? So let's understand these two terms. So quality assurance is a process oriented approach to certify a software development method, that is SDLC, is correct and follows the standard procedure. It may bring changes in the process and cause to replace the weak practices if it identifies any. It includes review activities such as inspection of document, test cases, source code and automation, etc. So in quality assurance, we generally perform activities like inspection of the requirement document, review of the requirement document, we review the test cases, we review the source code and also automation code, okay, and the automation code coverage as well. So this is all about quality assurance or QA. Now what is quality control? So quality control is product oriented approach. QA is process oriented approach and QC is product oriented approach to qualify that the product under development meets the original software requirement and it results in change to the product. For example, if there are bugs in the system or some deviation observed in the implementation, it includes different type of testing to perform which are functional like unit, usability, integration, etc., and non-functional like compatibility, security and performance, etc. So this is about the quality control. Okay, so now you may have understood what is quality assurance and what is quality control. Now to more important term, that is verification and validation. So verification is the process that ensures that whether we are building the product right. Okay, to verify the requirement which we have, to verify whether we are developing the product accordingly or not. For example, if the product or if the software is intended to make payment to a user using a debit card, credit card, internet banking, scanning the barcode, using the phone number, delivering to the using the contact number. So the main objective is to ensure that all the requirement for that particular software is taken into consideration or not. Okay, so in verification, the activities that are involved are inspection, reviews and walkthroughs. So this is about the verification. In verification, code is not executed, so it only involves the inspection, review and walkthrough of the requirement document. Code is not tested or code is not executed in this phase. Now what is validation in software testing? So validation means that whether we are building the right product. To validate the product which we have developed is right or not, activities involved in this is testing the software application. So in validation, we execute the code and two types of testing comes into picture. One is functional testing, another is non-functional testing. In functional testing, manual testing, unit testing, smoke testing, sanity testing, all kind of testing comes under manual functional testing. But in non-functional testing like security, performance, scalability, all kind of testing comes under non-functional testing. Now the question starts, when should testing be stopped? This is a very important question that we have started the testing, but when do we need to stop the testing? So the test cases executed with the acceptable percentage of defect. So for example, if you have performed the testing and 50% of your test cases has failed, so in that case it's not safe, it's not suggestible to deploy your code or to release the software into the market. So there should be acceptable percentage like around 5%. If there is 5% of open defects, then it is acceptable to release the software into the market, and the remaining defects are fixed as part of the hot fixes or bug fixes. Okay, second is project deadline. So you have to stop your testing if the project deadline is complete. So for example, if you have a project deadline of 1 month and you are unable to complete your testing, so in that case also you have to stop the testing at the project deadline. Okay, test budget has run out. If the company had a budget of around $2,100 or $2,000, now what happens is that all the budget was spent on the testers and there is no further budget to continue with the testing process. So in that case also testing has to stop, because resources will be paid salary but there is no budget in that project. So in that case also testing should be stopped. Now coverage of code, functionality or requirement reaches to a specific point. If you are automating the functionality and your code coverage has reached to a certain level where it doesn't require any other or specific, it doesn't require any additional changes, so in that case also you should stop the testing. Also, if the bug rate falls below acceptable level, so for example I told you that 5% open defects are acceptable, but if your bug rate falls below 5%, that is 3%, in that case also you can stop the testing. And if your beta and alpha testing is completed successfully, that cause also you can stop the testing and release the software in the live environment. Now two more important questions: what is entry criteria and what is the exit criteria? So once you are starting your testing, so you should have a well-defined entry criteria before you are starting the testing. So entry criteria gives the prerequisite item that must be completed before testing can begin. So those important inputs are defined and approved requirement. Your requirements should be approved by the product owner or the client. Second thing is your test plan. Your test cases and test data are available. Your test tools, like what tools you will be using, like if it is a web-based application that you will be needing some browser, specific browser or the specific version of browser. If you are using any desktop application, so that particular desktop application should be installed on your system. So these comes under the test tools. Now comes testable code with appropriate test environment. So there are different environments like QA, dev, CI test, CSO, production. So if it is agreed that you have to test your code into the QA environment, so you will need the code to be deployed into the particular or the appropriate test environment. Only then you will be able to start your testing. Now executing the primarily functional business flow successfully by leveraging various test input. So once you have received the code, now you will run a full happy path in order to make sure that the code that you have received is working fine and can be used for testing all the scenarios. Now the exit criteria. Exit criteria means the item that must be completed before testing can be concluded. So once before declaring that you have completed all your testing, you have to make sure that all the critical test cases are passed. You have achieved complete functional coverage. You have covered all the scenarios. You have identified and fixed all the high priority defects, fixing all the showstopper defects or blocker, and ensuring that none of the identified critical severity defects are in open status. You also have to make sure that you have retested all the defect and closed all the high priority defects to execute corresponding regression scenarios successfully. So what happens is that if you have completed your testing, then it's very important to do a round of regression scenarios where each and every part of the application is tested thoroughly in order to make sure that the code changes had not broken the existing functionality. So that's the reason we perform the regression testing. Now a very important question, that is smoke testing and sanity testing. So many of us get confused with what is smoke testing and what is sanity testing. So here we will discuss about that. So smoke testing is performed in order to check the critical functionality is working fine, and sanity testing is done in order to check that the new functionality or the bug have been fixed. Okay. Now second thing is, the objective of the smoke testing is to verify the stability of the system, that now the system is stable. It doesn't happen that one functionality is working, login functionality is working, and adding product to cart is not working. now checkout is not working. So checking the stability comes under the smoke testing. And sanity testing is done to check the rationality of the system in order to proceed with more rigorous testing. This smoke testing is performed by the developer or by the tester, and sanity testing is usually performed by the testers. Okay, your smoke testing is usually documented. You generally have a smoke suit which you run every time when ever a new build is accepted by the testing team. But sanity testing, it is not documented and it is unscripted. The smoke testing is a subset of the acceptance testing, and sanity testing is a subset of the regression testing. In the smoke testing, we generally check the entire system from end to end. Okay, but in the sanity testing, we check only the particular component of the entire system. Your smoke testing is like general health checkup where everything is checked, like your eyes, your kidney, your liver, your stomach, your intestine, everything. But sanity testing, it is like specialized health checkup. If you have come for eye checkup, then only your eye checkup will be done. If you have come for blood test, then only your blood test will be done. If you have come here for your heart ECG or echo, so your heart ECG or echo will be done. But in general health checkup, everything is getting checked. So you can remember the difference between the smoke and sanity testing with the help of this chart or this table. So that's all in this video, and we will see most interesting and important topic in the upcoming videos. So please subscribe to my channel, like the videos, and also comment down on the video if you have any queries. Thank you for watching.